I think this case is very serious, and that would have been reflected in the sentence that we've now seen. So, and the seriousness of this is that what you've got is a elected official from the UK in the European Parliament who is agreeing to take money to make statements and ask questions on behalf of a foreign government. And these are very serious offences that really go to the heart of our democracy. So when we elect individuals in whatever parliament and in whatever circumstance, we do so because as constituents we want them to act in our best interests and of course the best interests of the country. In this case, Nathan Gill has put aside the best interests of this country and in fact agreed to take payment to ask questions or make statements that were pro-Russia in nature as a result of payments from the opposition parties in Ukraine at the time. And so I think it says something about Nathan Gill that he pleaded guilty and he's now been sentenced for what are extraordinarily serious offences that really were offensive to our democracy as well. And of course it's a risk that all elected officials take at being targeted or the focus of foreign countries. Nathan Gill was a willing participant in his activity.
52-year-old Nathan Gill of Anglesey in North Wales pleaded guilty to 8 counts of bribery on dates between the 6th of December 2018 and the 18th of July 2019. A former leader of Reform UK in Wales was jailed here at the Old Bailey last week for 10.5 years. He was paid £40,000 to make pro-Russian statements in the European Parliament. Met Police Anti-Terror Commander Dominic Murphy's comments on this case come just weeks after a group of Wagner Group stooges were jailed for setting fire to a warehouse storing aid to Ukraine in London as part of what was described as a planned campaign of terrorism and sabotage for the Russian state.
So this is a long-running investigation, as you've seen from the time it's taken from our first involvement in 2021 right through to now. But of course, this is an ongoing investigation. We work very closely with international partners. Our interest is in helping international partners to make sure that their democracy is preserved in the same way that we've been able to do here. So yes, we are running an ongoing investigation, and I'm sure you'll appreciate hard for me to talk about that any further. What I can say from the conversations we can see Nathan Gill having with Voloshin and others, he was the other individual in Ukraine that was encouraging Nathan Gill's activity, is that actually Nathan Gill was offering his services to make contact with other people. But of course we continue to investigate, and so you'll understand I won't be able to talk any more about that. Look, I think the reality is we need to be alive to all the ways in which Russia or pro-Russian elements of other countries will try and influence our society, our democracy, and of course commit criminal offences here. So we remain alive to incidents like this, but thankfully they are rare, and it's really important for people to remember that. So broadly, I think this is an example of what we've seen in a few instances where those pro-Russia elements in Ukraine in this case, and it's great to see the Ukrainians have obviously dealt with this as a national issue on their behalf, but the impact it has on us as a country demonstrates that Russia, nothing is off the table for Russia. So we've seen sabotage operations, we've seen influence operations, we've seen incidents like this, which is undermining our and European democracy. So it says to me that Russia really continue to present a very significant risk to our national security. Well, he's pleaded guilty, right? So I think there's a strong indication there that actually he recognises that he cast aside any constituent interest in favour of money and his own motivations, which we understand to be primarily money in this case.